Hi, I'm Diane Ross, and I do what I call soul level hypnosis, which is actually transpersonal hypnosis or using hypnosis, guided meditations to meet with your spirit guides, connect with your soul group, past life regressions, all kinds of esoteric, fabulous, wonderful stuff. And today, what I'd like to talk about is how visiting the past can heal the present, specifically relationships, because relationships are probably our biggest bugaboo. Most of us, I'm sure there are exceptions, but most of us have difficulties with relationships. Have you ever met people and you automatically disliked them and you didn't know why? You just automatically had this, this person just rubs me the wrong way. There's something about this person. Or sometimes just the opposite. You can meet someone and it's like, oh my gosh, I've known you forever. We've got this deep soul connection and I'm just so thrilled to finally meet in person. I feel like I've known you all my life, right? So these are the kinds of things that would indicate you've had a previous lifetime with someone, when you have that instant connection, either positive or negative. And one of the things I want to share with you today is how doing a past life regression can significantly help your current relationships. One of the examples that is just absolutely incredible, this regression occurred, probably 6 years ago, I think. This woman came to me, and I had seen her a couple previous times, and she was working on soul growth. She wanted to know who her spirit guides were. She wanted to know who was in her soul group. She wanted to do past life regressions. She was on a healing journey, which, that's really the best motivation. When your intention is to heal, that's when you really start getting the good stuff. And this was the kindest, sweetest woman you could ever meet. She was in her, I believe it was her early 70s at the time. You could not have asked for a more stand-up, loving, kind person, right? So we go into a regression. I'm telling you, I get so amazed and delighted at how this unfolds. We go into this regression, and the year was 1841, and she was captain of a ship. She even got the ship's name. It was LaRue something. She was French. And this is going to sound so horrible. To me, it's funny because I can see the big picture. I can see how this all unfolded to her benefit and the benefit of people in her life. But the details are kind of gruesome. Let me just kind of forewarn you. She was captain of a ship, and this was someplace, they were out in the middle of the ocean. And then she went into port. She directed her ship to go into port. And there was this beautiful woman on the dock. The woman's name is Genevieve. They kidnapped this woman. And as my client put it, they kidnapped her, she said, in quotes, for our own pleasure. Well, you know what that means. And they kept her on board. The whole crew took advantage of her, including the captain. And then they took her to the next port and sold her. To me, this is, how could this possibly happen? And the woman in the regression was horrified. She was just horrified that she had actually done this. But the kicker is, the woman that she kidnapped was her daughter-in-law in this lifetime. And she and her daughter-in-law had no decent relationship at all. Her daughter-in-law hated her from the get-go, and my client could never figure out why. It's like, well, why does my daughter-in-law hate me? It's like, I've never done anything to hurt her, to harm her. Well, and until this all unfolded. Now, when I do a past life regression with people, I don't just do a regression. I also take them to that, what we call life between life stage. I call it the place of review. This is where they can see the big picture, the cosmic picture of their life that we just visited. And so my client called in her guides, and her spirit guides were helping her understand this. You've got to remember, my client was horrified at this information. And her spirit guides told her, because she's like, well, how do I heal? How do I heal this relationship? What do I do? And her spirit guides told her she needed to forgive herself. She needed to love herself. Easier said than done, I know. But this is a really interesting aspect of this regression. This is around Easter time. And it was about 6 years ago, around Easter time. And the daughter-in-law would never invite my client over to her house for dinner, would not include her in family gatherings, pretty much excluded her from everything. Unbeknownst to my client, why? She couldn't figure out why. After the regression, and after my client started working on self-forgiveness, self-love, you won't believe what happened. She got a phone call from her daughter-in-law inviting her to Easter dinner. Pretty amazing, huh? And the interesting thing about it is, she didn't even mention this to the daughter-in-law. The thing about doing this kind of work is it can be extremely therapeutic for the person who is actually experiencing the regression, because the person is actually experiencing the regression. It's not like intellectual knowledge. Like right now, I'm sharing this information with you. It's intellectual knowledge for you. You're not having the actual experience. But when you're having the actual experience, it can be extremely spiritually healing. And what I found is that, contrary to popular belief, because popular belief is, well, both people have to get together, they have to work this out, yada, 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 right? What I found is that when one person does the work, I'm not saying it always does, but it can heal the entire relationship. And if you think about this from a cosmic level, how could that be? How could that happen? How could an entire relationship heal when one person does the work? And by work, I mean forgiveness, love, and any other things that their spirit guides help them with. In this case, it was basically just self-love and self-forgiveness, which is basically the same thing, right? But what I found is that when one person does the work, it's entirely possible for the entire relationship to heal. Why? Because on a spiritual level, we are all one. So I hope this encourages you to pursue doing spiritual work, because it can be so incredibly life-changing. So that's why I call this visiting the past to heal the present, because I've truly seen the results myself, and I hope that you do too. And I would love to hear your comments. If you'd like to make comments below, I would love to answer your questions if I possibly can. So please leave your comments below. And again, thanks for joining us.